Oh, Bill O'Hyatt again. I like that. Okay, Tomo. All right. By the way, Tomo comes up with all the names for the topics. His creativity. But look, Bill O'Brien, man, he's with the Patriots for about 5 years, from '07 to 2012, and then he had a quick stint in Houston as coach and GM. Left there, became an OC for Alabama. Nick Saban. Now he's back with the Patriots. So we're going to talk about our reaction to that move, and then we're going to start with Dave. Since Tony, who comes on the show, is a diehard Patriots fan, he couldn't join us today, so we're going to have his brother speak on him on his behalf. So Dave, talk to us.
All right, so I'm gonna speak on how I feel about it first, and I'm gonna just kind of sort of give you what I think my brother's doing. So I think it was, you know, just about right. I don't see why they didn't do this last season instead of having those two idiots run the offense during the off season. I think that was just a dumb idea. That Bill Belichick had did that. I understand that he's considered the greatest coach of all time when it comes to the NFL. I mean, he does have 6 Super Bowl rings, 6. So no other head coach has that many. I mean, he also did have Tom Brady as his quarterback, so a lot of people think that was more so Brady. But I mean, if you look at those first 3 seasons, that was because of that defense and the weapons that were around him. So Bill Belichick had a lot to do with that. But Bill O'Brien, I think everyone knows he's better off as an OC than the head coach. When he was a head coach in the NFL, he wasn't that good. And when he went to Alabama, he helped improve that offense. So that's what he could do here. I mean, and then Mac Jones went to Alabama, so it's not like he doesn't know um, who he is, even though he wasn't there during that time. Steve Sarkisian was the quarterback when Mac Jones was there, but still, that's someone that knows that offense. So I believe that'll help them out. Now, my brother's probably like, it's about freaking time because of what happened last year. Um, and this is kind of sort of what I was saying when it came to how Mac Jones was playing. If you look at 2 years ago, well, if you look at, last season, not 2 years ago, last season before in his rookie season, he looked pretty good. And that's because he had an offensive coordinator. He had Josh McDaniels there. So he was able to run the offense the way that fit him. Now you put freaking Matt Patricia there. What do you expect? This is someone who's never called an offense in his entire life. And you expect him to be able to run an offense? No. That's why he failed. And I can see why he was frustrated. But even though Bailey Zapp came there and looked good, you can't just go ahead and get rid of Mac Jones because he looked good the year before. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have an OC or a good quarterback coach. So I think it was just a matter of time before it happened, and it's about time.
Let's get it.
Coaching matters, man. That's what they say, right? And like you said, the chemistry is there. But did they do this for old boy? Why is my brain going blank?
Mac Jones.
Did they do this for Mac Jones? Who?
Mac Jones.
Who? Or Bailey Zappi? Because like when Zappi got in, he definitely made that offense look like it was still clicking, even though it was Matt Patricia. Do you really trust Bill O'Brien? Do we really trust him? Do we trust him? Because his coaching career was up and down, but do we really trust him?
As an offensive coordinator, I would say yes. As a head coach, no. But as an offensive coordinator, I would say yes. Just look at if you pay attention to what he did in Alabama, you would say yes.
Did they make a bowl?
Yeah, they won a national title.
Yeah, they won the title.
Okay, my bad, fellas. I don't watch college football. I watch the episodes. Y'all both attack me, bro. Look, that's why I watch college.
That's it.
No. But y'all both like, they won a title. That's why I watch the college episodes. I'm not too brushed up on college football. However, I do believe some people are meant to be, coordinators instead of head coaches, and hopefully,
Josh McDaniels.
That is true. I was about to say my man in Arizona, who was the very first year done son.
Mm-hmm.
If this works out, we might see a second shot at him being an offensive coordinator. Because sometimes, like we said, you can lead people, but you can't lead an entire village. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, I think he can lead him. He also could be a quarterback whisperer because Deshaun Watson did have some of his best years when he was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the best GM, but he was doing some things. That O-line was terrible, and they were still a formidable team. He did also go out and get a wide receiver. I don't know what the relationship there is with him and Hopkins, but it's no good. People say no good. Y'all say
No
no
good.
bueno,
Yeah.
no bueno. I thought it was just the organization. I didn't think it was Bill O'Brien too.
He was a
But okay.
GM, so
I mean, he could have been saving them. Like,
it was him too.
all right, cool. Well, there we go.
I think it was.
Alabama. Hopefully, Alabama got a wide receiver coming out, and that'll help too. Because it seems like once you pair these young quarterbacks with a top-notch receiver, they then excel to the next level. I'm not gonna bring up nothing from yesterday, but look at Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, so it
Yeah.
could work out. Also, he likes running the ball too, and being up there in the AFC North, you may want to run the football. I mean, what East? My bad. I said North. I'm thinking about Burrow.
They, they can't last in the North. Trust me, they wouldn't last in the North. Not with that quarterback play. Not with that quarterback play.
With the new OC, they might though.
But I like the move. He used to be the OC in 2011.
So you can cut the lights out.
Cut the lights off.
Like the
My
2013.
goddaughter keep trying to FaceTime me.
Okay.
But in 2011, that was the year that Tom Brady actually threw the most yards as a Patriot. I mean, he eclipsed that number his year last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He threw for 5,300 yards. But in 2011, when Bill O'Brien was the OC,
So he was the most productive when he had him as his OC. And that's the year he had Hernandez and he had Gronk, which is I want to say that the tight ends that they have now are those guys, but he do have two good tight ends in Henry and John Smith. They also had Wes Welker back then. They don't have a actual guy that's like a Wes Welker right now, but they could target somebody. We know that Bill is going to have the defense top notch. I mean, there wasn't no top five defense this year, but they was eighth in yards per game, 11th in points per game, and with the better offense production, your defense will play better. They're on the field less. They have to do less, and I can attest to that. My team, the first couple of weeks, our defense was on the field the most out of any defense in the league, and everybody thought our defense was trash. But towards the end of the year, we get the most takeaways, get our sacks up and things like that. Offense plays better, that helps the defense. So I think that it's really going to help out with this team. They have good running backs. Mac Jones isn't no slouch. I like Jacoby Myers. He plays good. He's not no elite wide receiver, but he's good. They do need to pick up another elite wide receiver for Mac Jones, like Tomo just alluded to, how they did with Josh Allen, your boy in Arizona, like you just talked about. Because I think Mac Jones is pretty good. This year, his numbers and things regressed a lot due to what Dave talked about with the OC changes. But with Bill O'Brien back with Bill Belichick, the two Bills, they ready to kill. Let's get it.
Kill Bill.
Oh, watch out, Dolphins, and watch out, Bills, because the Jets is back and the Bill is real.
Okay. The Bill is real. Yeah,
Tony
I
not gonna
like
like that. Tony not gonna like that. He want Mac Jones out of there.
I
who?
know,
He said
man. He gonna
Tony,
he,
right?
he gonna see
Yeah.
the light. He gonna see the light. He gonna see the light. He gonna see
Yeah.
the light.
He need to
He
see the
probably
light.
wanted
You know
Tom
what?
Brady out of there.
I'm gonna put the current for him so he can see the light for y'all. But first off,
Don't show that
Bill,
baby, man.
nah, I'm not gonna do that. Bill O'Brien, it's a great move, I believe. I thought we all was like chirping about that, right? These past few, like couple of like a month and a half, kind of we've been talking about it. Bill, like Javon said, he was with Brady when he had basically his best season. He was also there when Matt Castle had 11 wins, right? They didn't make the playoffs because the Jets were elite that year, but he was there when Tom Brady was hurt and they won 11 games. So I like the move. Now, Mac Jones was getting killed all last year. All right. I mean, people were trying to boycott him and bring in Zappy, who had 99 yards his first game with the overtime. They thought it was a miracle that they almost beat the Packers. All right. And we all saw who the Packers really were by the time the end of the year came. But everybody tried to get rid of Mac Jones. I just want to remind people what Mac Jones did. All right. Because pairing him up with an actual OC, he's a good quarterback. He really is. Not saying great, but he's like, listen, I tell these Patriots fans over here all the time, he's not Brady. I'm like, listen, y'all keep forgetting who Brady was when he first came in here. When he first came
Right.
to the NFL, he was not who he is today. He had an elite
Game
defense
manager.
behind him. All he had to do was manage the game and close the game in the fourth quarter. You
That's
actually, Mac Jones do a lot more than that. So don't ever try to compare him to Tom Brady because they're not in the same circumstances.
He technically still doing that.
Yeah, like now from the front. You know, what I mean, he as one thing about Brady, he specialized the quarterback position. He really did. But now he just don't have the. He just not good right now. Well, he this ain't playing good. Anyways, Matt Jones, 15th rookie to lead a team to the playoffs. That's a big deal. All right. 10th rookie to have a winning record and 8th rookie to win at least 10 games. All right. You look at Trevor Lawrence. Everybody's praising Trevor Lawrence this year, rightfully so. He had a good year. You give him a good coach, I can call good plays. He gonna play good. Remember him last year? Nobody talked about him last year.
Right.
This year, Trevor Lawrence, 95 passer rating. Mac Jones rookie year was 92. Not big of a difference. Trevor Lawrence, 4,100 yards. Mac Jones, 3,800. Not a big difference. And don't forget, he barely threw the ball against the Bills. So imagine if he had an actual game, he actually threw the ball. Maybe he had 4,100 yards. 25 TD Trevor Lawrence, 22 Mac Jones. 66% Trevor Lawrence, 67 Mac Jones, which is second in rookie history behind your boy Dak Prescott, by the way. All right. So Mac Jones is a good enough quarterback to win them some games, especially with Bill Belichick with that defense. They play good until they play elite receiver. Then John Jones look terrible when they play elite receiver. But other than that, they play good defensively. They just need an OC. Whenever you get a guy who's calling plays, who's a DC, who went to Detroit and made them worse, come on now. You know that's not a good idea. You know, so I love the move. I think the Patriots will make the playoffs next year with this. As long as they coach the staff straight, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, that should be fine. Don't forget about my boy Kendrick Bourne. That's another receiver that plays for them. He came from San Francisco, so
that was gonna be my next.
He's
comment.
nice.
Man, they got a bunch of second and third. They need a number one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. They definitely need a number one. They don't have a number one, but I'm just saying if you have Jacoby Myers plus Kendrick Bourne and you add a number one receiver like a D Hop, I doubt that they make that kind of move because that's not something that's not really something that Bill Belichick really does.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's possible. He did make that move from Randy Moss, but
he got Randy.
Yeah, but people forget that year he was Randy. Randy, no one wanted Randy at that time.
They got Vito Singo too. You know, he wasn't that though. He was
I'm not gonna say nobody wanted Randy. Randy didn't want to be in Oakland. That's what it was, and they just sold him.
It was a bad stigma on him at that time.
It was. You're right. But let me say this too. What Tomo said was cool. Pairing these young quarterbacks up with a receiver, not just a receiver, a former teammate or a former alumni, whatever you want to say, right?
Or best friend.
Jamar Chase and Travis Etienne played with Trevor Lawrence, right? You know, so you throw, and then you got Bill O'Brien coming from Alabama, and then you know, you can get a receiver like 17, 18, 19 pick and still be a productive receiver next year. So, yeah, I think they'll be good next year.
But see, it's moments like this why the college episode is important because they tell you about them up and coming receivers that's coming in the draft.
Yes, sir.
There it is. And that college, listen, we're gonna do an NFL draft live on here, so it's gonna be lit. So that's an April.
Wait. We'll talk about that off air. You know how long the draft is?
You know, this is the first round.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you were trying to pull ESPN, man. You're gonna do all weekend.
No. It's gonna be legit too. All right, so. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button, no matter what you're listening to or watching it. Hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.